Alongside the starboard side of the aircraft carrier, you will see the fleet's newest fast attack submarine, the USS Iowa, SSS 797. Commissioned on April 5th, 2025 in Groton, Connecticut, this submarine is built for longevity, stealth, and high performance. Iowa's advanced technology allows for near-silent movement through the world's oceans. Its sensitive sonar can detect and track enemy submarines and warships from extended distances. With a length of 377 feet and 6,800 tons and a speed of 25 knots, the Iowa represents the greatest America's silent fleet. The Iowa's crew is comprised of 15 officers and 117 enlisted sailors, all highly trained and selected from the nation's most competitive candidates. The Iowa's armament consists of 4 torpedo tubes and 2 Virginia payload tubes, each capable of holding 6 vertical launch Tomahawk missiles that can strike over 1,200 miles away. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the USS Iowa and the United States Navy's Silent Service. Our next demonstration showcases the impressive firepower capability of the United States Surface Fleet. As you direct your attention to the port side of the ship, you'll see 8 Arleigh class guided missile destroyers sailing in formation. The USS Farragut, the USS Donald Cook, the USS Mason, the USS Delbert D. Black, the USS Ross, USS Cole, USS Neitz, USS Gonzalez, and USS Carney. Each of these powerful warships is manned by 320 of America's finest sailors, highly trained, battle-ready warfighters who embody the skill, spirit, and dedication to make the United States Navy the greatest naval force in history. Their seamless teamwork and unwavering commitment delivering precision firepower upon our nation's enemies from the surface of the sea. Aboard the aircraft carrier, the commander of Destroyer Squadron 2-2 operates as the Sea Combatant Commander for the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group. The Desron commander is responsible for directing each of the destroyers under his command to successfully engage in anti-surface and anti-submarine warfare. Now, we invite you to witness the full measure of the ship's combat capability. In our first display of firepower, our destroyers will fire the Mark 15 Phalanx close-in weapon system, also known as Sea-Wiz. The Phalanx weapon system provides U.S. Navy ships with an inner layer point defense capability against anti-missiles, low-flying aircraft, UAVs, and high-speed surface craft. The Phalanx weapon system is the only deployed close-in weapon system capable of autonomously performing its own search, detect, evaluation, track, engage, and kill assessment functions. This is the ship's last line of defense, providing a fast reaction, radar-guided, 20-millimeter gun, weapon system that is capable of firing at a rate of 4,500 rounds per minute. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. The Mark 45 5-inch gun is a fully automatic naval gun mount. Mark 45 is designed to engage surface and air targets and provide naval surface fire support for expeditionary operations. The gun mount includes a 20-round automatic loader drum. Its maximum fire rate of 16 to 20 rounds per minute with an effective range of 13 nautical miles. Finally, we will demonstrate the power of the Surface Naval's missile arsenal. The Standard Missile 2, or SM-2, is the U.S. Navy's premier air defense weapon with a range of up to 90 nautical miles. The SM-2 is launched from Mark 41 vertical launch systems. This weapon system is an integral part of the Aegis weapon system aboard the Ticonderoga-class cruisers and Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers. Its primary mission includes fleet area defense and ship self-defense, and is using SEAM-active radar guidance to decisively engage and destroy even the most advanced adversary fighter aircraft. One of our ships in company, the USS Carney, recently fired the SM-2 missile in support of combat operations in the Red Sea. On October 19, 2023, the USS Carney was involved in one of the most intense combat engagements by a U.S. Navy warship since World War II. By the end of what became a 10-hour standoff, Carney had shot down 15 drones and 4 land attack cruise missiles fired by Houthi rebels in Yemen. This marked the most intense combat engagement of the U.S. Navy in years. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy Surface Fleet. Naval Special Warfare history is one of consistently delivering high-impact solutions in the nation's most critical moments. The heritage of the Navy SEALs can be traced back to World War II, where the need for specialized maritime forces became apparent with the changing nature of war. Naval combat demolition units and scouts and raiders were created to conduct covert reconnaissance and landing from beaches and coastal defense. This played a crucial role in maritime amphibious landing operations. These operators directly enabled the success of amphibious operations like D-Day, turning the tides of the war. The U.S. Navy SEALs were established by President John F. Kennedy in 1962 as a small elite maritime force. They carry out types of clandestine, small unit, high-impact missions that large forces with high-profile platforms such as ships, tanks, jets, and submarines cannot. SEALs conduct essential on-the-ground special reconnaissance at critical targets to enable strikes by larger conventional forces. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing is effective integration and interoperability with varying air and maritime and land components that's critical to the SEAL operations. Today's helicopter assault force is relying on a skilled pilot and a crew of Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 11 to insert them into a target area via fast rope from an MH-60 Sierra helicopter. Fast roping is designed to enable SEALs a rapid insertion into areas of rough terrain or obstacles that would prevent a suitable landing zone. The height of the fast rope is dependent on the target area, but can be held up to 90 feet, the equivalent of a 9-story building, with close to 100 pounds of combat equipment aboard each Navy SEAL operator. At the request of the assault force, the helo will lay down covering fire, enabling the operators to begin the assault. Today, the Naval Special Warfare maintains a forward posture operating across the globe from South America and Europe to the Middle East and Asia, proactively addressing emerging threats and safeguarding national interests. These operators are a global premier maritime special operations force, delivering decisive action where it matters most. They are trained to operate in the harshest environments, from desert cities to remote coastlines. They continue to innovate in a battle space defined by evolving technology and global competition. However, across its history, Naval Special Warfare has remained true to the ethos of the Navy SEAL teams. They are quiet professionals, relentless in their pursuit of excellence, and unwavering in their commitment to the mission. Naval Special Warfare honors the great generations of warriors and support personnel who have built its legacy and reaffirms its commitment to serving with honor, courage, and excellence well into the future. Each Navy SEAL is a force multiplier, a highly skilled warrior capable of operating in remote environments or engaging the enemy in an urban setting. They are experts in close quarters, combat, demolitions, communications, marksmanship, and a myriad of other skills essential for success in the most challenging environments. They are the tip of the spear, the silent guardians, the embodiment of American resolve. They are the U.S. Navy SEALs, and they stand ready to defend freedom, protect our interests, and answer the call, however it may come. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this small display of the capabilities of the Naval Special Warfare and our supporting elements as we seek to carry on the legacy of the frogmen that have gone before us. Give it up for your United States Navy SEALs. During the Second World War, USS San Juancito launched Lieutenant Junior Grade George H.W. Bush and his TBF Avenger torpedo bomber from a vast expanse of the Western Pacific. This helps support 58 critical combat missions. Since this pivotal area, the aircraft carrier has remained an indispensable pillar of America's national security, providing vital roles in the conflicts from Vietnam all the way till recent inherent resolve. Today, our Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carriers represent the cutting edge of naval aviation technology. These mighty vessels launch aircraft using steam catapults powerful enough to accelerate a 65,000-pound aircraft from 0 to nearly 200 miles per hour in a mere seconds. This represents an extraordinary feat of engineering and precision. After completing their missions, our pilots execute one of the most challenging maneuvers in aviation, landing aboard a moving ship. Approaching at the precise degrees of 3.5-degree glide slope from approximately 3/4 of a mile, they aim to catch one of the 3 arresting wires that are only 40 feet apart, offering a total landing area of 80 feet. This narrow margin leaves virtually no room for error. In this demanding skill, this is required both day and night, and it distinguishes our naval aviators as the most highly trained and capable pilots in the world. The flight deck is angled at 9 degrees, a critical design feature that allows aircraft to be launched and recovered simultaneously, maximizing operational tempo and efficiency. 4 steam catapults propel the fixed-wing aircraft into the skies, while 3 arresting wires safely recover them upon return. All aircraft operations are expertly coordinated by the air boss from the primary flight control. Supporting these complex operations are 4 large elevators that move the aircraft seamlessly between the flight deck and the hangars below. These hangars are carefully divided into 3 bays of thick steel, engineered to contain and restrict the spread of fire, ensuring the safety personnel and equipment. The 2 aircraft located on the fantail at the aftmost portion of the ship are now about to kick on their engines and prepare to launch and intercept whatever may be on the way. We see them taxiing forward to the waste catapults now, where 52,000 pounds of steel will use its own 44,000 pounds of thrust and the impressive power of the carrier's catapult system to go from 0 to up 150 knots in roughly 3 seconds. The USS George H.W. Bush has 4 catapults, 2 on the bow, 2 on the waist. It is capable of launching 1 aircraft every 30 seconds. As you will see, the aircraft will taxi up to the catapult, lower the launch bar into a small shuttle. Behind the nose gear will be attached a holdback fitting from the landing gear to the ship. The holdback bar will hold the aircraft as the pilot runs his throttles to full power. When the pilot is ready to launch, they will give a crisp salute, and the catapult officer will then press the button, who will release the launch bar, and away he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you from the waist, the catapult demo. While our intrepid alert aircraft proceed to investigate and neutralize the threat, 3 of our aircraft are returning from the fight now. Overhead in the stack, we will recover 1 F-35 Lightning II, 1 F-18 Super Hornet, and 1 E-2D Hawkeye. Now overhead is the E-2D Hawkeye. The Hawkeye is the Navy's all-weather, carrier-based tactical battle management, airborne early warning, command and control aircraft. The E-2D is a twin-engine, 5-crew-member, high-wing turboprop aircraft with a 24-foot diameter radome attached to the upper fuselage. The Hawkeye is our eye in the sky. The pilots will manage this aircraft to touchdown in the landing area, or LA, a small piece of steel roughly 100 feet wide, and with a wingspan of nearly 80 feet, there is not much room for error. Here, the E-2D pilot would demonstrate the power of the E-2D's engines and look to take back off again in only a few hundred feet. Next inbound is the F-35C carrier variant, the U.S. Navy's first fifth-generation stealth fighter. This cutting-edge aircraft marks a historic leap in naval aviation, bringing radar-evading stealth technology to the carrier deck for the first time in naval history. The F-35C sets new standards in weapons system integration, lethality, maintainability, combat radius, and payload, delivering a true multi-mission power projection from the sea. It pairs fifth-generation survivability with major advances in network-enabled mission systems, reliability, and interoperability. Designed as the first day of the warfighter, the F-35C is built to dominate both air and surface threats while surviving the most challenging threat environments of today. The next approach is the F-18 Super Hornet, a fourth-generation aircraft and the workhorse of the U.S. Navy. With a wingspan of 45 feet and touching down with over 100 knots, the arresting wires across the deck will bring it to a speed of down to 0, allowing it to stop within a few hundred feet. This clears the way for any following aircraft with an ideal interval of 55 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to now recognize the hard men and women that are working on the flight deck operations to make the flight ops possible on an aircraft carrier. If you look around, you will notice a wide array of different colored jerseys and float coats running around the deck of the carrier. These are the people that make things happen out here on a day-to-day basis. They are the reason the George H.W. Bush Strike Group team can achieve our full combat capability anytime, any place. These are just a few of the people that make the aircraft carrier flight operations possible. The true strength of the Carrier Strike Group comes from the dedicated men and women who work tirelessly to maintain these impressive machines every day. Our next demonstration will be an F-18 organic refueling capabilities. Here you will now see an aircraft coming into the pattern who is operating on a low fuel state and will be forced to discontinue his approach. pilot is now executing a wave-off from the carrier indicating a foul deck. A foul deck means that there is an obstruction in the landing area, and for the safety of those on the deck and the aircraft coming into land, the approach has been aborted. The airborne refueling aircraft has been set to hawk our low-fuel aircraft in the pattern during their attempt to land. Since they were unable to come aboard, they are on low fuel, and it is up to the tanker aircraft to expeditiously join and refuel the aircraft to give it another chance to land. If you follow the path of the low-fuel aircraft on the port side of the ship, you will see the tanker setting up in position to set up for air-to-air refueling. Now it is up to the pilot with the low-fuel aircraft to steel his nerves and execute a precise and controlled connection, inserting the refueling probe into the drogue basket of the tanker aircraft and flying a perfect formation to hold in basket and to receive enough fuel for another chance to land. Organic tanking has made it possible by the F-18 and has made Navy's operations in hostile theaters without divert airfields possible for the last two decades. This ensuring safe aircraft recovery and extends the operational range of the F-18 for long-range strikes. Next, we will witness the two F-35C Lightning II perform basic fighter maneuvers, commonly referred to as dogfighting. This is a tactic that has roots tracing back to the daring pilots of World War I. Each pilot will push their bodies and their aircraft to the extreme limits in order to achieve victory. Approaching from the bow and the stern, the fighters close in on each other at speeds exceeding 1,000 knots, beginning in the fight on neutral terms to determine the winner. The aircraft will fly past each other in a high aspect pass with just 500 feet separating them. After the merge, each fighter will look to max perform their aircraft by pulling to the load limit of the aircraft at 7.5 Gs. As they raid around and approach the next merge, each fighter is looking to cue and employ both the AIM-120 and AIM-9X missiles to take out their adversary and win the fight. Both fighters in a similar aircraft will look to capitalize on errors made by the other pilot to gain the offensive position. The fighters are now approaching the second neutral merge. One aircraft has decided to execute a nose-high maneuver and gain a positional advantage. Preparing to employ the AIM-120 to kill their adversary, they will open their weapons bay doors, and the fighter that has a positional advantage will max perform to get them behind their adversary and maintain the offensive position. After employing both the AIM-120 and the AIM-9X, the offensive fighter will not maneuver to execute a gain attack on their adversary in an attempt to gain a 1v1 engagement victory. Next, we will see the E-2D up close and personal in flight. The E-2D is the Navy's premier carrier-borne, airborne early warning asset. It provides impressive radar detection ranges and works alongside the rest of the carrier's troop as the eye in the sky. Maintained atop the fuselage, you can see a large rotating dish. This is a powerful APY-9 radar that allows the E-2D to maintain situational awareness to the battle space. It plays a critical role in ensuring the carrier strike group defenses. During large-scale engagements, it is up to the E-2D that is providing crucial intelligence and direction to the aircraft engaged in the prosecution of threats and aircraft and surface vessels. In addition to the impressive bomb-carrying capability of the F-18, each aircraft is equipped with the M61A1 Vulcan Gatling gun housed in the nose. The weapon fires 20mm rounds at a staggering of 6,000 rounds per minute to precisely destroy small targets while minimizing collateral damage. The 20mm cannon is equipped with a semi-armor-piercing, high-explosive incendiary rounds, which are fired at supersonic speeds to inflict heavy damage to their targets. Each aircraft will execute a well-honed strafe pattern, diving at nearly 30 degrees straight at the target and unleashing the Vulcan's firepower in a demonstration of the F-18's ability to prosecute targets even when all bombs are expended. As the F-18s egress the target area, we will see them dispensing flares and executing a guns jink in order to defend against enemy air defense artillery and surface air missiles and look to return to base safely. Next up is the MH-60 Sierra. The Sierra is the Navy's multi-mission workhorse helicopter. It has 2 auxiliary fuel tanks and it can stay airborne for about 4.5 hours, about 2 hours without it. Its max speed is 180 knots. It can carry up to 23,000 pounds and 55 pounds of internal fuel. For special operations support, the MH-60 Sierra can insert and extract Navy Special Warfare personnel by fast roping or static line as well as free fall parachute. It also provides ISR capabilities, sniper overwatch, JTAC support, and the helicopter visit, board, search, and seizure for maritime interdiction. The armament for the MH-60 Sierra includes the GAU-21 50 caliber gun with nearly 2 kilometer effective range of M24 7.62 millimeter guns with an effective range of 1,100 meters. When fully armed, the MH-60 Sierra can carry up to 8 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles with an 8-kilometer reach and 20mm 3-barrel M197 Gatling gun with up to 38 rounds of unguided 2.75-inch rockets. Using the digital rocket launcher, this platform can fire precise rockets at about 5,000 meters. Here we see the Sierra make 3 total approaches off a notional target off our port side, first employing their unguided rocket payload before circling around the ship at the end of the run. And now returning over the right shoulder, we'll see a combination of 20mm machine guns, unguided rockets, and lastly, they will depart to the north prior to returning to suppress the area with crew surveying weaponry with 50 caliber machine guns to ensure target destruction. Next up will be the F-18 demo flight. What you are about to witness highlights the mobility, versatility, and power of the most lethal carrier-based strike fighter aircraft in the world, the F-18 Super Hornet, nicknamed the Rhino. The F-18 pilots are now setting up for the minimum radius turn to the tail stand. With the max AB selected, the aircrew will select 90 degrees angle of bank and hold for 7.5 Gs for a 360 degrees of turn. At the end of the minimum radius turn, aircraft will max perform to the vertical, followed by a negative G pushover to return to level flights. Pilots are now setting up for the square loop. As the Super Hornets approach through the show center at 350 miles an hour, the pilot will rapidly reposition the nose 4 times, flying a distinct square path through the sky. Ladies and gentlemen, from the left, the square loop. As the pilots push outbound, they are now setting up for the inverted whisper pass. Ladies and gentlemen, make your cameras ready. The F-18 is now setting up for their final maneuver, their photo pass. The aircraft will pass show center at a 90-degree angle of bank and 200 feet and in maximum afterburner. Ladies and gentlemen, next up is the F-35C, the Navy's newest variant Joint Strike Fighter. It is the only fifth-generation aircraft in the Navy's inventory and combines stealth with sensor fusion. The C model differs from other F-35 variants with its larger wings, increased fuel capacity, added ailerons, and enhanced landing gear, giving it the unique ability to launch and recover from the aircraft carrier at sea. Serving as the pilot today for the demo will be Lieutenant Underdown, call sign BAM, from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching now the F-35C repositioned for the minimum radius turn. As you're watching this, you will see that he was pressed in his seat at 7.5 times the force of gravity. To put that in perspective, during this maneuver, BAM's body weight will feel close to 1,500 pounds. During an aerial dogfight, the F-35C can execute extremely tight turns, giving the ability to rapidly reposition its nose and gain an advantage over the adversary. To now demonstrate the agility of the F-35C, Lieutenant Underdown will approach for the tactical pitch. From a speed of 300 miles per hour, BAM will select full AB, roll the aircraft 45 degrees, and show the F-35's ability to rapidly reposition its nose at high speeds and high angles of attack. He will then climb in the vertical, demonstrating the power of the Lightning II as he accelerates away from the ground. The F-35 will now set up for the high-speed pass. Pulling 6 Gs back toward showline, he will then approach show center at 300 feet and 0.95 Mach. You may notice the white vapor coming off the aircraft, indicating it is approaching the speed of sound at nearly 750 miles per hour. The ability to ingress at low altitudes and high speeds enables pilots to avoid detection and preserve the element of surprise. For the culminating event of today's air power demonstration, all participating aircraft will return overhead the aircraft carrier for one final flyover. This formation represents the full complement of the carrier air wing, embodying the strength, precision, and professionalism of United States naval aviation. 14 war-ready aircraft will thunder across the sky in a disciplined wedge formation, while the MH-60 displays the colors of our nation, a solemn reminder of the freedoms we protect. Each aircraft is a vital instrument of our Navy's formidable warfighting capabilities, combining power, precision, and unwavering resolve. Together, they stand as a shield for America's interest, a testament to our credible deterrence, and if called upon, an overwhelming force. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for United States Naval Aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude today's sea power demonstration, we stand united in awe and gratitude for United States Navy, a force forged in the crucible of history and the stalwart defender of American freedom for over 2 centuries. From the daring frigates of the Revolutionary War, which challenged the might of the British Empire, to the steel battleships that secured victory in 2 world wars, from the vigilant silent service of submarines during the Cold War to the swift carrier presence that projects power in today's global arena, the Navy has stood as the unwavering shield of our nation. These waters have been the proving grounds of heroes like John Paul Jones, whose legendary resolve declared, "I have not yet begun to fight." They echo with great valor of the Great White Fleet that carried America's message of strength and diplomacy throughout the globe. They remembered the sacrifice at Midway and Leyte Gulf, where fate and freedom was decided in the open seas and the skies above. Today, as we witness the might and precision of this modern fleet, we honor the generations of sailors who have answered the call to defend liberty and uphold justice. Their courage, skills, and dedication have preserved the peace and prosperity we cherish. To the men and women of the United States Navy, you are the inheritors of this proud legacy, the embodiment of America's promise to stand vigilant and strong against our nation's enemies. We salute your unwavering commitment, your honor, and your sacrifice. May your sails always catch the winds of victory. May your watch be ever steadfast, and may God bless the United States Navy and the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the official presentation of colors. The color guard is represented by members of the Navy Ceremonial Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for today's invocation, followed by the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Rob Hess.
Let us pray. O God, creator and sustainer of life upon the seas, as we gather today on this historic 250th birthday, as one force and of one voice, we remember and we celebrate both our storied past and our proud heritage. With the origins of the Navy predating our independence, our Continental Congress knew that a fleet of sufficient force was necessary for protection of our colonies and even for freedom itself. With your hands and through your vessels, our Navy was born as a force for good. Today, we celebrate one another, sailors and Marines who are the lifeblood of our force and the heart of our birthday celebration. And we are deeply grateful for all our shipmates, past and present, who have thrown themselves upon the sea again and again in the service of our great country and the finest, most powerful Navy and Marine Corps the world has ever seen. May you fill this space now with your divine presence and power as we commemorate this momentous occasion together. May you gird us with toughness and discipline as warfighters, even as we work diligently to deter and passionately to preserve peace through strength. May you make us ready and resilient when the call of duty comes, as protectors of our nation and guarantors of freedom on the seas. And may you forevermore watch over and bless those who serve upon the sea, above the sea, and under the sea, as we sail towards a bold future together. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rabbi Yonatan Warren.
We come together now to acknowledge and memorialize those who came before us. Eternal God, for generations they came, young, hopeful, enthusiastic to serve, to answer a call from their nation, from their communities, from you. We pray for them, for those who answered the call to serve in the United States Navy and in the United States Marine Corps. For 250 years, they came in times of war and in times of peace. They came because freedom, democracy, union, revolution ask it, require it, demand it, and they answered that call. They gave of themselves, of their intellect, of their vigor, of their spirit, and because of that, today, we stand on their shoulders and we are eternally grateful for their service. God and Master of Healing, we ask you tend to the emotional and physical well-being of our nation's sea service veterans. May they never feel forgotten by those whose liberty they have so steadfast
There is no greater champion for this new patriotism than President Donald J. Trump. I am so honored to be part of our national birthday party and to join with all of you in welcoming our exceptional Commander-in-Chief here today with the kind of tremendous reception he so greatly deserves. We are now in a moment in our history when, thanks to President Trump, we are turning the tide again, just as the revolutionary generation that founded our great Navy did. It is now our time to take big risks to save our country, and it is our duty to honor our past generations and their staggering sacrifices, for which we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. We are the natural successors to the Revolutionary War generation, fiercely independent, ruggedly individualist, faithful to God and to country, with a white-hot love of liberty and the unique, enduring American spirit. It's been said that great civilizations tend to not last more than about 250 years. We've made it to 249 with our big 250 next year. But preparing for our next 250 years requires forever vigilance, something that the Navy has maintained with excellence, fortitude, and commitment to duty for 2.5 centuries. President Trump is reclaiming the American Republic for the American people. He is launching us into the next 250 years of American greatness, as he did in his first term, by delivering a strong economy, an enforced border and record low illegal immigration, a rebuilt, modernized military with record recruitment, a government that actually serves its people, and world peace. America first. Next year's momentous celebration will be thanks to his leadership in activating a national and worldwide celebration of America's 250th birthday. We are preparing to honor and celebrate our nation's history in unforgettable ways, from our military anniversaries, as we're doing here today, to a majestic flotilla of tall ships from around the world, to many other really big surprises. We know that this celebration will have a truly global impact, showcasing American power and leadership while promoting a future of peace and prosperity. America's 250th is so much more than just a date on the calendar. This moment will inspire a new era of American greatness. Not only will this be the most monumental and exciting celebration in American history, but it will spark a shared vision for America's future. And Lord knows we need that. Thanks to the Trump administration, next Independence Day will be a once or twice in a lifetime moment of sparkling American grandeur and patriotism. This is the new golden age. And with God's help, we will make America even greater over the next 250 years. And it's all made possible by the unmatched force of the United States Navy and the innumerable sacrifices of every man and woman who has put on the naval uniform. We owe so much of America's independence on July 4th, 1776, to the birth of the Navy on October 13th, 1775. Today, our hearts are filled with gratitude and pride for you, the men and women of the United States Navy, and your indispensable role in securing the first 250 and the next 250 years of American greatness. Happy birthday, U.S. Navy. Because of you, we continue to be the beacon of hope, a citadel of liberty, and a light in the darkness. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our Commander-in-Chief, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the U.S. Fleet Forces Ceremonial Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the United States Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, First Lady. As always, it's great to see you. Mr. President, thank you for your leadership and support of our nation's armed forces. Secretary of War, thank you for your leadership in restoring our focus on the warfighter ethos. Secretary of Veteran Affairs, great to see you today, and thank you for all you do to support our Navy and Marine Corps veterans. CNO, Navy leaders, thank you for ensuring that our Navy and Marine Corps remains the preeminent maritime naval force. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and members of Congress, thank you for being here today. After seeing today's display of naval power and standing on this pier surrounded by sailors, Marines, family members, and patriotic Americans, all I can say is that was damn impressive. Come on, give them a hand. Bravo Zulu to the sailors that participated in today's sea demonstration. It is the honor and privilege of my lifetime to serve as your 79th Secretary of the Navy, especially as we kick off the Navy's 250th birthday celebrations. Thank you, President Trump, for your trust and confidence in me. Mr. President, your directive is clear: peace through strength, and we are executing it with your one big beautiful bill and your executive order on restoring America's maritime dominance. You've armed us with the authorities, resources, and urgency to modernize the fleet, expand our shipyards, rebuild the skilled workforce, deepen our magazines, and harden the infrastructure that wins wars at sea. 250 years ago, the Continental Congress made a bold bet: who controls the seas controls the future. This was the birth of our Navy, a testament to our historic significance. The Constitution states Congress shall have the power to provide and maintain a Navy. The word maintain means the Navy is intended to be a permanent, continuous institution of national defense and warfare. The founders understood the importance of having a Navy. George Washington, in a letter to the Marquis de Lafayette, wrote, "As certain as night succeeds the day, without a decisive naval force we can do nothing definitive, and with it, everything honorable and glorious." Today, 250 years later, history has proven that to be a superpower, one must be a sea power. Mr. President, your mandate ensures that when the world looks to the seas, it sees an American flag, and behind that flag stands a team that is disciplined, lethal, and dominant. Today, we showed the world what American sea power means: deadly precision, meticulous execution, raw power, and the will to use it. Secretary Hegseth, we are restoring the warrior ethos to this department of the Navy, not by slogan, but by performance. The Truman, right here beside me, sustained more than 50 days of Tomahawk launches and precision airstrikes to degrade Iran-backed Houthi capabilities and protect commercial shipping during Operation Rough Rider. There are many, many missions that we are operating and executing on very well, including choking off cartel cash flows. Between Operation Atlantic and Pacific Watch, we've seized over 450 metric tons of cocaine worth more than $11 billion. These seizures represent lives saved. All these operations show us our fleet is ready to answer the nation's call 24/7, 365. The remarkable success is a testament to the bold vision of President Trump, whose leadership has ignited a renewed sense of patriotism, inserting more Americans to serve. I'm happy to say the Navy broke its recruiting record 4 months early, So help is on the way for the high operating tempo you've been living through. To our Marines standing in the line with us, your grit and discipline give us a fighting force no adversary can match. Warfighters, you are the backbone of this maritime strength, keeping our nation safe and secure and prosperous. You prove every day freedom isn't free. President Trump thanks you. Secretary Hegseth thanks you. I thank you, and your country thanks you. We appreciate the sacrifice you and your families make, and we value your unwavering commitment to the mission. Sea Power is a family business. Your sacrifices are not unnoticed, and they are deeply appreciated. They may wear the uniform, but you share the honor, and we share the pride. God bless you. God bless our Navy and Marine Corps, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, oh, what a thrill. Goodness, your records to quitting balls of fire. I let the should. You're fine, so kind. I'm gonna tell this world that you're mine, 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 mine. I keep my nails and I put on my thumb. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. The goodness gracious, whip balls of fire. Should. You're fine, so kind. I got to tell this world that you're mine, 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 mine. I keep my nails and I flip on my thumb. I'm real nervous because the show is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, quick balls of fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the United States Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
My goodness. Well, good afternoon. How we doing, sailors? The absolute best of America. I'm honored to be at the world's largest naval base. Now, I'm the only thing between you, the First Lady, and the Commander-in-Chief, so I'm going to keep this very brief. Looking out at all of you, I know you know why the President always says we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, most ready military on the planet. And he's going to make sure we keep it that way. This is the perfect way to mark 250 years of the United States Navy. You know, President Trump has made our mission clear. America first and peace through strength, with common sense at every turn. At the War Department, it is the War Department, we're committed to that core mission of peace through strength. And for the Navy, that means more sailors, more subs, more ships, and more munitions for all of them. The Navy and the Marine Corps embody the resilience of our country. Nobody in the world does it better than the United States Navy. Always remember this. Fact. You are not civilians, you are different. Sailors, SEALs, Marines, you were set apart for a distinct purpose. Your diversity is not your strength. Your strength is your unity of purpose, your shared mission, your love of country. Generation after generation, battle after battle, ship after ship, sailor after sailor, you have set the tone. The story began with John Paul Jones when he declared, "I have not yet begun to fight." Today, we have a commander-in-chief who fights for all of you and fights for our country every single day. A commander-in-chief who guarantees that you, the warfighters, have everything you need on the high seas to deter our enemies and, if necessary, win overwhelmingly. We have a president who appreciates your dedication. He appreciates your service, your sacrifice, and that of your family as well. And as I always tell every service member, every sailor I see, he has your back. So warfighters, on behalf of everyone at the Department of War, thank you. Thank you for your commitment to America's Navy. You stand the watch 250 years later. God bless you. And may God bless our great republic. Godspeed. Thank you.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away. What? Look away, Dixieland. Sing it, fella. You on your own, man. Oh, I wish I was in the for Dixieland, where I was born. Early, Lord, one frosty morn. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know that daddy bound to die, but all
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the First Lady of the United States, Melania.
Hooyah, Navy! Hooyah, Navy! Hooyah, Navy! It is an honor to be with you to celebrate the 250th year since the United States Navy was officially established. Generations of sailors have kept America free because of their presence on the high seas. Your strength, bravery, and sacrifice inspires us all.
The President and I just attended an extraordinary demonstration, an inspiring display of skills that reflects the very best of our Navy. For me, it brought back fond memories of my visit to the USS George H.W. Bush in 2018. I will always remember the pride and professionalism of the sailors I met on that vessel. I witnessed the enduring spirit of America's Navy, which propels every mission and lives on to every sailor who serves. Now, it is my privilege to introduce someone who holds our military close to his heart, not only as the Commander-in-Chief, but as a proud American who believes deeply in the men and women who wear the uniform. Please join me in welcoming my husband, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
God bless the United States Navy. good timing, wasn't it? We had to get that right. We had to get that right. But they always get it right. I was just given a display with a wonderful First Lady, the likes of which I think few people have ever seen before. We were a few minutes away, and the display of strength was absolutely incredible. We appreciate it. Thank you, Navy. Thank you very much. And I want to thank our magnificent First Lady for that introduction. People love our First Lady. They do. And let me say to all of the incredible sailors on this pier, it's great to be with the fleet, the fleet. And let's also give a very special thanks to the shipmates who put on that spectacular display of Navy dominance. And that's what it was dominance. And Bravo Zulu. You know what that is? Bravo Zulu. You know, a lot of people don't. And it's a true honor to be here with the thousands of our nation's finest sailors at the largest naval facility in the entire world. It's the largest, and I would say more importantly, it's the best, okay? It's both the Norfolk Naval Base. Thank you very much. The largest, and it's the best. We're gathered on this storied waterfront to celebrate 250 years of strength, tenacity, and unwavering courage by the greatest fighting force even, and that's true, no matter where you go, no matter where you go, no matter what you even think about, there's nothing like the fighting force that we have. Roam the seas, it's called the United States Navy, and there's nothing in the world like it. Nothing, not even close. You read stories, they don't have it. Let me tell you, we check it closely. We check it closely. Docked beside us today are a combined 150,000 tons of pure American naval supremacy, and two colossal reasons why no one should ever want to start a fight with the USA. They won't fight. We're putting out a lot of fights, so do you see that? We're going to be close to number 8. Number 8. We don't want to send you into battle unless it's necessary, right? We're putting out a lot of fires. Maybe some of you will be angry. You'll say, what's he doing? We want to fight. You know what? If we can solve them the way I'm solving them, we solve 7. We have another one that's taken 3,000 years, and we're pretty close, but I don't want to talk about it until it's done. But let's give a big round of applause to the men and women of the majestic USS Kearsarge. Thank you. And let's hear it for the sailors of the USS Harry S. Truman. Those who call this carrier home live by a motto that captures the spirit of America's Navy. It's very simple. The words, give 'em hell, and we do give 'em hell. For 2.5 centuries, that is what every generation of American sailors have done. You've conquered raging oceans and braved ferocious storms to vanquish America's enemies on the high seas and distant shores. You've beaten mighty warships into twisted wrecks of steel. You've splintered vast armadas and sent the mangled pride of empire sinking into oblivion. You've surged the waters thick, danger, blood, brine, and through it all, the United States the Navy SEALs. They are great. Thank you very much. Incredible people. And of course, our enemies have learned to dread that special cast of warriors who have charged forward almost everywhere America has seized a stronghold or stormed a beachhead. They call themselves the Leathernecks, the Jarheads, the Devil Dogs, but we revere them as the United States Marines. Incredible people. Incredible people. With us today are some of those who have led these exceptional men and women. They've led them like nobody else. And I'll tell you, a person I'm very, very proud of, he has stepped up and he's hitting home run after home run. They love him. I want to introduce again a man who's just exceptional. I'm so happy with this choice. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Thank you, Pete. Doing a job. I said, Pete, what do you think? You know, we used to call it Secretary of War, the Department of War, the War Department. Now we call it Defense. And I don't know, would you ever want to, you know, we won World War I. We won World War II. We won everything in between. We won everything before. And all of a sudden they decided to change the name. They went woke then too, you know. Woke is a long-term word. I said, what do you think about changing it to the Department of War? He said, I love it, sir. And that was about the end of it, right? That was the end of it. Thank you, Pete. Great job. He's a great leader. Also, Secretary of the Navy, a very, very successful man. He gave it all up to do this. And we're designing more ships. We have more ships being built shortly. We're going to have more great ships being built than we've ever had being built in the history of the Navy. John Phelan. John, thank you. Great job, John. He made a lot of money in the private sector, and I said, you want to do this, John? We need a lot of ships, and we need them fast. And he said, I want to do it. He gave up a lot, gave up everything to do this. But he's loving it, and he's doing a fantastic job. Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Darrell Caudle. Admiral, thank you. Great job. Rear Admiral Gavin Duff. And along with so many different people here, they could introduce them all day long. I don't want to do that because we got to get to business, talking a little bit about war and peace. But along with your great officers here at Norfolk Naval Base, Vice Admirals John Gumbleton. John, thank you. Thank you, John. Great. Young guy. You're a young guy. Great. Doug Perry and Rob Goucher. Thank you. And a very special thanks to a man who just got a 93% approval. He runs the Veterans Everything, I call it. He's Veterans Everything. The VA Secretary Doug Collins. He's doing great. Thank you, Doug. Doing a great job. Ambassador Monica Crowley. Monica, thank you very much. A man that everybody loves. He was my doctor in the White House, and I got to know him very well. He was also the doctor for Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And he was a doctor for a man named Bush. And at a press conference, they asked him, who's in the best shape? Who's the healthiest? Who's the strongest? Who's the best physical specimen of the three? He said, that's easy. President Donald Trump. And I said, I love this guy. I said, I love him. Ronnie Jackson, he's now a congressman, as you know. So he was an admiral. He was a chief doctor. He was the whole boss of doctors. And now he's a very, very successful congressman from Texas. Thank you, Ronnie, very much. And I appreciate those words. I'll never forget them. Jen Kiggins. Jen, thank you. John McGuire. Rob Whitman. Dan Crenshaw, Derek Van Orden. These are unbelievable, talented people that are with me, and they fight. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you. Thank you very much, darling. These are great Congress. I say Congress warriors. That's what you have to be today in Congress if you're going to make it. I also want to recognize all of the newly pinned chief petty officers. You got a lot of them here today. I had to approve it. Who recently earned their anchors and now bear their venerable title, Navy Chief. Navy Chief. Thank you, Navy Chiefs. Let's also express the gratitude of our entire nation to every Navy veteran who has come out to honor this big anniversary. We see so many veterans. I saw backstage, I was shaking hands with veterans all over the place. And they are great. And they're respected and they're loved. Thank you very much. Stand up if you'd like. Thank you very much. They're really loved. I saw it backstage. I saw so many veterans. My hand will never be the same. Thank you very much. A great honor. And a very special thanks to the countless Navy families who support our sailors with such love and devotion. None of what are, and think of this, without them you wouldn't be celebrating today. Many of you would not be doing very well. Male or female, you wouldn't be doing very well. So we want to thank our family members, right? All of them. Parents, husbands, wives. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the American Revolution until today, the story of the U.S. Navy is a tale of loyalty, sacrifice, and commitment stretching back 250 years. So we're celebrating 250. I almost thought I wouldn't get to do that because I was president in 2016, and then they rigged the election on me. And then we caught him, didn't we? We caught him, but, you know, we had to run it again. I ran it again, and I got 250, and I got the World Cup, and I got the Olympics. Can you believe all of it? In my first term, I was the one that got the Olympics. I was the one that got the World Cup. And I said, you know, the sad part is, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't even be invited because it won't be during my term. I would say, if we're a Democrat, I might not be invited. They don't love me exactly too much. And then when this happened, now all of a sudden they got all three. But you know what's the most important? 250 years is the most important, above World Cup, above Olympic. So we got them all coming. And on June 14th, next year, we're going to have a big UFC fight at the White House, right at the White House, on the grounds of the White House. When the Continental Congress formed a fleet of just 2 ships in October 1775, many scoffed at their chances against the most powerful empire on earth. That was the most powerful ever, relatively speaking. We had 2 ships. We had nothing other, but we had great heart. They didn't know the audacity and the grit of the American sailor. They had no idea the war for independence gave us some of the greatest American heroes of all time, including the father of the U.S. Navy, Captain John Paul Jones. You know that. When a far stronger British ship demanded his surrender, Jones yelled back that timeless battle cry right now, "I have not yet begun to fight." Don't ask me for that. Think of that. I could just see it. He's a wise guy. He's asking, I haven't even begun to fight. And he knocked the hell out of him. In the War of 1812, Captain James Lawrence shouted his final words to his crew as blood streamed down from his mortal wounds. "Fight her till she sinks," he yelled. "Don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship." These are all incredible, very, very famous statements now, with years and time, very famous. Don't give up the ship. I say it all the time. You're a little behind. I say, don't give up the ship, and we win. We all know how to win. Today, that eternal creed is written into the hearts of every sailor in the fleet. America's Navy never, ever gives up the ship, right? We never give it up. Another titan of the early Navy was the great Commodore Arthur Sinclair. He defeated the French in the Caribbean battle. And then he went to work on the Barbary pirates off the coast of Tripoli and raided British forces when they were so powerful in 1812, the War of 1812. He raided them. He was knocking them out one by one. Everyone said, where does this guy come from? And we're all descendants when you think of it. Commodore Sinclair went on to become the commanding officer here at the Naval Station Norfolk, right here. where he founded a nautical school for officers that eventually became the one and only U.S. Naval Academy. And I'm going to be at your Army-Navy game this year. Who am I going to root for, huh? You may be surprised. It's going to be great. We're going to be here. Generations of the Commodore's descendants have forged their own towering legacies of service in the Navy, and we're joined today by his fifth great-grandson, Commander Link Mustin. Where is Mustin? Commander Mustin, where are you? He's here. Wow, look at this handsome guy. That's good genetics. He's got good genes. Thank you very much. Commander, thank you for continuing a family tradition that has endured for 2.5 centuries. Can you believe that, huh? I wonder if they were as good looking as you. I doubt it. You just got better with age, right? Congratulations. Is that young man your boy? Wow. He beat you. They beat you. That's what we want to see. Over the generations, our Navy sailors raised Old Glory above the streets of Veracruz, sent the Spanish fleet to its watery grave in Manila Bay, and buried the vicious German wolfpacks at the bottom of the sea. Those were vicious, vicious wolfpacks. They were brutal. They were hitting us hard, and then we came up with the answer, didn't we? We came up with the way to knock them out, and we were knocking them out so fast they didn't know what to do. It was really the end once we discovered the secret through some brilliant minds. A lot of them are descendants of the people here right now. In every era of conflict, the Navy has never failed to hunt, kill, and to win. Never failed. Never failed. In World War II, Admiral Bull Halsey's motto, hit hard, hit fast, hit often, and that is exactly what the sailors do. One of those warriors was Submarine Commander Eugene Fluke, who sent more Japanese tonnage to the ocean floor than any other man in history. I don't like to talk about it too much now. You know, they've been a nice ally, but anybody from Japan here right now? We'll get off the subject immediately. But think of it. Sent more tonnage to the bottom of the sea, one after one. Aboard the famed USS Barb, he destroyed a Japanese tanker and a carrier with a single salvo to his men's chagrin. They were very concerned about it. They didn't think we could do that, and he just knocked them out one after another. And again, torpedoes were flying, but his greatest feat came when he spotted 30 enemy ships at port off the coast of China. You know that, a very famous story. Commander Fluke ordered his men to their battle station, slipped into the harbor, and sank 6 vessels at one time before taking off into the beautiful, wild blue ocean. He received 4 Navy Crosses, the Legion of Merit, and the Congressional Medal of Honor. That was a brave guy. In recognition of the incredible achievements of the USS Barb under his command, this December we will lay the keel of a brand new Virginia-class submarine bearing that same legendary name, and his grandson, Tom, will be there to pick it up. Tom is with us today, and I want to thank you for keeping that great legacy around. Where is Tom? Oh, look, stand up, Tom. Great. Good, Tom. Thank you. That's good. That's good genes too, Tom, isn't it? Huh? That's good stuff. Thank you very much, both, for being here. From Midway to the Coral Sea to Leyte Gulf, American sailors fought the most epic naval battles in history. And at Normandy, the Navy led the greatest armada ever formed to deliver the single largest invasion force the world has ever seen. One of the sailors who did it was Felix Maurizio, who enlisted at age 18 and trained right here in Norfolk, trained right here. On D-Day, June 6, 1944, Felix manned an amphibious landing craft that did 6 harrowing runs to Omaha Beach. You all know about it. These are all famous fights. He delivered hundreds of American troops into the battle, including his brother Sal. Felix lost so many of his friends that day, but he kept fighting. He kept going out there, getting more soldiers, getting more of everything. He just kept coming. They couldn't stop him. And went on to serve in the Pacific under the great Admiral Nimitz. In February 1945, he spent his 21st birthday landing Marines on the blood-soaked sands of Iwo Jima, one of the bloodiest, toughest battles ever. Historic battle. 6 months later, he was aboard the USS Talladega in Tokyo Bay. When Japan surrendered, they said, I don't think we want Felix hitting us anymore. And he retired as a Chief Petty Officer in 1966. This year, Felix celebrated his 100th birthday, and he is here this afternoon as a living testament to the glory of the United States Navy. Wow. That's great. He looks good. Felix, you look better than I do. I'm not happy about this, Felix. No, they don't want to mess around with him. And Felix, we salute you. Thank you very much. Incredible. 100 years. In Korea, American sailors and Marines carried out the daring landing in Incheon and flew more than 250,000 combat sorties against the enemy. It was an amazing effort. In Vietnam, the Navy unleashed Operation Rolling Thunder and deployed a brand new unit, the Navy SEALs, to tear up Mekong River Delta. Problem with Vietnam, we stopped fighting to win. We would have won easy. We would have won Afghanistan easy. We would have won every war easy. But we got politically correct. Let's take it easy. We're not politically correct anymore, just so you understand. We win. Now we win. We don't want to be politically correct anymore. And history will never forget that it was the SEALs who stormed the compound at Osama bin Laden and put a bullet in his head. Remember that? And please remember, I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center. And I said, you got to watch Osama bin Laden. And the fake news would never let me get away with that statement unless it was true. But I said 1 year before to Pete Hegseth, I said 1 year before, where's Pete? In the book, I wrote, whatever the hell the title, I can't tell you. But I can tell you there's a page in there devoted to the fact that I saw somebody named Osama bin Laden, and I didn't like it, and you got to take care of him. They didn't do it. A year later, he blew up the World Trade Center, so got to take a little credit because nobody else is going to give it to me. You know the old story? They don't give you credit, just take it yourself. And it was the U.S. Navy that dumped his wretched corpse off the decks of the Carl Vinson to sink into the dark abyss. The Navy's central role in the defense of our liberty continues to this day. Just a few months ago, the Ohio-class guided missile submarine played an indispensable part in one of the most spectacular military feats the world has ever seen, the obliteration of Iran's nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer. How did that work out? Pretty good, right? And we shot 30 Tomahawks, you know that. On top of, after the B-2, how about that? The B-2s, what they did, those beautiful flying wings, what they did, they hit every single target they hit. And just in case, we shot 30 Tomahawks out of a submarine. Every one of them hit, too. So I would say Iran was not particularly thrilled. They were going to have a nuclear weapon within a month. And now they can start the operation all over again, but I hope they don't, because we'll have to take care of that, too, if they do. I let them know that. You want to do that, it's fine. But we're going to take care of that, and we're not going to wait so long. It should have been done long before I came along. You know that I had the pilots of the B-2s in my office, the famous Oval Office. I had them in the B-2s. They came in to the White House, and we talked about it. They said, you know, sir, for 22 years, our predecessors and us trained for that hit. For 22 years, they were training to take out the nuclear potential of Iran. He said, but it was only when you came along that we did it. And they were so happy that they did it. But they've been training for that hit for 22 years, but no president wanted to do it. They would have had a nuclear weapon within a month, probably within a month or shortly thereafter. And speaking to them would have been much more difficult. In recent weeks, the Navy has supported our mission to blow the cartel terrorists the hell out of the water. You see that? And you know, there are no boats in the water anymore. You can't find any. We're having a hard time finding them. But, you know, it's a pretty tough thing we've been doing, but you have to think of it this way. Every one of those boats is responsible for the death of 25,000 American people and the destruction of families. So when you think of it that way, what we're doing is actually an act of kindness. But we did another one last night. Now we just can't find any. You know, it's the old story. We're so good at it that there are no boats. In fact, even fishing boats, nobody wants to go into the water anymore. Sorry to tell you that. But it's, we're stopping drugs coming into America, if that's okay. We're stopping drugs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Last year, we lost, I believe, 300,000 people. And that's not talking about the destruction to families. Every one of us knows families that have been destroyed because the son, daughter, even mothers and fathers are destroyed by the fentanyl pouring in and drugs pouring in. Well, they're not coming in by sea anymore, so now we'll have to start looking about the land because they'll be forced to go by land. And let me tell you right now, that's not going to work out well for them either. And it was the Truman carrier strike group that unleashed American fury on the Houthi terrorists in the Red Sea. And as you know, they settled. But they settled because they made the statement to us, we've never been hit like that ever before. And earlier this year, conducted the single largest airstrike from an American carrier in history. That was the largest ever. I want to express my personal thanks to every single sailor who contributed to these phenomenal victories. We only know victory. We're only going to know victory. We don't want to know the other word. We want to know victory. We're going to have great victories in the years to come. Well, at least for almost 3.5 years, we're going to have great victories. I want to thank a group of women from North Carolina. Look at these great. Will you stand up, please? These beautiful women have followed me. This is number 151. You could call a rally. This is sort of a rally. Let's face it. This is a rally. This is a speech of love. We all love our country. But that group is from North Carolina. They're up to about 151 visits. They have a whole group of them. I never see their husbands. I don't know what's going on with their husbands. I assume, do they still love you, the husbands? Yes, good. But I want to thank you. 151, they've been following me since 2016, and you look even better now than you did then. But I want to thank you very much. It's a really group. They love our country. They like Trump, but you know what they really do? They love our country. And we have the right policy, right? We have policy. We don't want crime. We don't want men playing in women's sports. We don't want transgender for everybody. We don't want to have open borders where millions of people come into our country from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums, drug dealers, murderers. 11,788 murderers were allowed to come into our country. A lot of them are gone. And by the way, Washington, D.C. is a safe place right now. It went from one of the most dangerous cities in our country, can you believe that, to probably the safest, among the safest in our country. Nobody's being hit anymore. It's very safe, and I want to thank you. A lot of the people here have helped. A lot of the people in the audience are people that have straightened them out. It took 12 days, think of that. Now we're in Memphis. We're doing the same thing in Memphis, and we're going to Chicago. You know, we have a governor that thinks it's wonderful when 50 people in a short period of time were murdered in Chicago. Over 200 people were hit. And so we send in the National Guard. You know what? We send in what's ever necessary. People don't care. They don't want crime in their cities. And we're doing it, and we're doing it well. We're doing it like nobody's ever done it before. So I just want to tell you, you're very close to D.C. The restaurants are thriving. The restaurants were dying. They were closing one after another. Now they're thriving. They're opening up beautiful new restaurants. Washington, D.C. is safe. And I even went there and had dinner the other night. And I stood right smack in the middle of the street. Secret Service was thrilled. And I gave a news conference. It's a safe place now. Washington, D.C., it's always going to be. Our nation's capital is always going to be safe. We're never going to let that happen again, what happened there. One of the most beautiful places. We're doing a big beautification program. It'll take me very little, very short, but we're doing a beautification program to go along with the security and safety. We're getting rid of the graffiti, the potholes, the broken medians between roads. We're doing a real job, and you'd be proud of it. I think everybody here is proud of it, frankly. That's our nation's capital, and that has to be clean, beautiful, and safe. The U.S. Navy always stands for America. As your commander-in-chief, I will always stand for you. I promise you that. You know that. That's why you voted for me in numbers that nobody's ever seen before. And I want you to know that despite the current Democrat-induced shutdown, we will get our service members every last penny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll worry about it. Do not worry about it. It's all coming. It's coming. And even more because I'm supporting the across-the-board pay raises for every sailor and service member of the United States Armed Forces. But we have to take care of this little gnat that's on our shoulder called the Democrats. They want to give all of our money to illegal aliens that pour into the country. And, you know, I have a bigger heart than they do. But the problem is when you do that, they come in by the millions. Everybody wants that, so you can't do it. But I've also pledged the largest ever investment in our military's history. We're spending over $1 trillion. We've never had anything like that before. $1 trillion on our military, and that includes, along with your Secretary of the Navy and Pete Hegseth, we're going to be building lots of ships and doing a lot of things that you haven't seen happen for 35 years. We'll soon revitalize our once great shipyards with hundreds of billions of dollars in new investments and people coming from all around the world, and they're going to build ships in America. We want them built in America. And as I told our generals and admirals last Tuesday, we are getting wokeness the hell out of our military. It's gone. It's really gone. I don't know that it was ever really here. I think some of the top people had it. I knew a few of them that were they were major losers. But they were losers. Unlike our great general, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who may be here, Dan Raisin Cane. You know Raisin Cane? When I heard his name, I said, that's the guy I'm looking for. But he's been an amazing warrior, and, you know, he was the one headed up the attack on Iran. And everything he's touched has turned out great. He knocked out ISIS. So I was told it would take 4 to 5 years to beat ISIS. When he came on board, he did it in 4 weeks. We knocked him out in 4 weeks. 100% of the ISIS caliphate. Is Dan Kane here? He is, you know why? Because he's working. That's the one thing. We don't have to worry about him. But he is a fantastic man. It's the man I wanted right from the beginning. I said, if I ever do this again and if I could get lucky enough to win, because we have a base like nobody in history has had, I said, I'm going to pick Raisin Cane as the chairman. And that's what we did, and he's been incredible. We will not be politically correct when it comes to defending American freedom. That's why we have renamed the Department of Defense at Department of War, as I said, and we have changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That was easy. That was an easy one. You know, for years I've looked at it, and I added it up, and I figured we have 92% of the frontage. I say, how come we call it the Gulf of Mexico? I mean, I wouldn't say that Mexico is thrilled with me, but what are you going to do? It's the Gulf of America, and I love it now. I was watching the other night a report, and they said very routinely, in the Gulf of America, this is, you know, they just went on to talk about it. They didn't do it with a smirk or a smile. They didn't say, in the Gulf of America. No, it's called the Gulf of America now, and nobody's playing games with it. We got sued by the Associated Press, and they lost. In fact, the judge was so good, he said, he's calling it the Gulf of America. He's got all the approvals. You have to do that, too, to the very liberal Associated Press. They got thrown out of court. In fact, they're almost not allowed to cover me anymore because of that. It was a big hit. So I'm very proud of that. Under our leadership, the spirit of the American forces is soaring like it has never soared before. I think right now we have more spirit than we've ever had before. After years of recruiting shortages, we couldn't get guys or gals to become sailors. 1 year ago, they didn't want to be a sailor. Although I must say, once I said we're going to run, a lot of people, it made it better. But let's go back 2 years, and it was even worse. Because there was no hope. We had this horrible, horrible president who had no clue what the hell was happening. The chances of him walking down those stairs successfully were not good. And I have to be careful, because one day I'm going to probably fall. No, the North Carolina women said that will never happen to you. I always say, walk down the steps nice and slow. You ever notice I do nice? I don't have to bop down the stairs. Walk nice and slowly. But we have a waiting list. Think of this. We have a waiting list for people wanting to get into the United States Navy, the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Space Force. Oh, we love Space Force. But think of it. We have a waiting list for every branch of government now. And that includes police and firemen. They didn't want to. Nobody wanted to be a policeman. Now they want to be a policeman. Now they want to be in the Navy. They want to be in the Air Force so badly. The Marines, the Army, they want to be in all of it. They love Space Force. I love Space Force because I created Space Force. That was my thing. And it's going to turn out to be one of the most important. But 1 year ago, our country was dead. We had a dead country. People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too straight to withdraw. We had a dead country, and today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. 1 year, think of it. 1 year ago, we were dead. The king of Saudi Arabia said to me, President, 1 year ago, we thought we lost America. We thought it was a dead country, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. He said that. I use this term. And I'm pleased to say that 2025 was the Navy's single best recruiting year ever. Not bad. So you went from those embarrassing headlines of a year ago. Think of it. Nobody wants to go into the Navy. How does that make you feel? Now you have a different problem. You know what the problem is? Everybody wants your job. I like that better, right? No, but nobody's going to take your job. You were with us when it was not as nice. It wasn't as nice. Those are the people I like the best, too. The people that were with me when it wasn't looking so good, like these ladies from North Carolina. They were with me when it wasn't looking that good. A lot of fake scandals were created, all fake. One of those eager new recruits is 18-year-old Aiden Rollins, a recruit like I'm so proud of. Aiden's father was a sailor, his grandfather was a sailor, and after 4 years of Navy ROTC, it is Aiden's turn to carry on that tradition. When he enlisted in April, his father, Daniel, a Navy veteran, was so inspired that he decided to re-enlist too. Wow. I'm delighted to say that father and son are here with us today representing the future of this great fleet. Please, Aiden and your father, please stand up. But wow. Wow, that's a good-looking family, I'll tell you. Thank you both. That's a great story. Beautiful. Your father looks pretty young, Aiden. I mean, he's a young-looking guy. Every sailor, aviator, submariner, and shipmate in the Navy inherits a tradition of excellence and daring, power and glory unmatched in the long saga of mankind's voyage on the sea. From that first ship, the schooner Hannah, to the awesome sight of a modern carrier battle group underway, the U.S. Navy has always been the iron will of a proud and mighty nation pushing forward through the currents and over those big, beautiful waves, through the spray of raging combat and the fog of naval war. America's sailors have proven time and again that our Navy does just the best job there is. Anything having to do with sailing the oceans, there's nobody to compete. We own the skies, we stalk the depths, and we rule the seas like nobody has ever ruled the seas. From Boston Harbor to Hampton Roads, from the Philippine Sea to the Red Sea, from the Guadalcanal to the vast, great Atlantic Ocean. Our sailors have seized triumph upon triumph. We don't know anything about defeat. We heaped honor upon honor and carved greatness and splendor into the pages of history. We only talk about the Navy and only use that word, splendor. We also say victory because that's the other. We have splendor and we have victory on gun decks and flight decks, in torpedo rooms and cockpits. They have poured out their blood, sweat, and tears and offered their very lives to defend this land between the seas. They have crossed icy canals, leapt from burning wreckage, plunged into frigid waters, soared into deadly skies, and slashed across the mine-infested bays to claim American victory and to defend the cause of liberty, to defend, quite frankly, the American flag. In every era and every part of this globe, our sailors have fought with courage in their hearts, patriotism in their souls, and salt water in their veins. You have that salt water? Don't let the doctors change it. Keep it, because there's nothing like it. There's no blood like it. And standing before all of you today, I know that whatever our nation is threatened and whenever they need help, whenever duty calls, American sailors will hoist our flag high and they will rally to Admiral Farragut's immortal battle cry, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, go, you son of a gun." With your help, we will fight, fight, fight. We will win, win, win. Because of you, our Navy and our country will always be proud and righteous and mighty and free. Congratulations once again on 250 years of total dominance. Sail fast, stay strong. Thank you. God bless our sailors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, everybody.
recognize when we see Old Glory flying. There's a lot of men dead, so we can sleep in peace at night when we lay down our head. My daddy served in the army, we lost his right eye, but he flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my mother, my brother, my sister and me to grow up and live happy in the land of the free. Now this nation that I love is falling under attack. A mighty sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back. Soon as we could see clearly through our big black eye, man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be hell when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and it'll feel like the whole wide world is raining down on you. Brought to you courtesy of